The 2020 Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I think, took everyone by surprise, especially since when we saw the original trailer for it and saw how bad of a design Sonic had, we were all thinking, oh god, this is just going to be the worst. But the filmmakers listened, they altered the film, they made him look better, and they actually managed to deliver quite a fun product. Nothing groundbreaking, but nothing horrible either. I mean, the story wasn't anything revolutionary. It was a character that we know from popular culture, escapes from their world, enters our world, and has trouble fitting in. I mean, we've seen that before in a million other projects, but once again, they managed to make it work and released a really fun product. Well, yesterday I just got finished watching Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and this film, I think it carries on the great streak, and it really does deliver a really great, fun movie. So you've got, once again, Sonic, voiced by Ben Schwartz, who's getting used to his new life living with the Wachowskis, Tom and Maddie, played once again by James Marsden and Tika Sumpter. Now, while he does like his life there, he also wants to be a hero and wants to help out, which he does by becoming something of a vigilante in the nearby city of Seattle, known as Blue Justice, although he clearly isn't very good at it. Anyway, James Marsden's Tom Wachowski tells him that he will get his chance to be a hero, he just has to wait for it. He doesn't choose the moment will choose him. And the moment may be coming sooner than they thought, as when Tom and Maddie go off to Hawaii for Maddie's sister's wedding, Sonic is suddenly confronted by his returning enemy, Dr. Robotnik, played once again by Jim Carrey. Only this time he has help. He has recruited an echidna warrior named Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba. And Knuckles is mainly hunting down Sonic because he believes that Sonic holds the key to the location of the Master Emerald, a power source that was taken by the owls from the echidnas and that he wants to get back to protect. However, Dr. Robotnik has much more devious plans for it, but basically Sonic has to go on the run from them. However, he is assisted by a new friend in the form of a flying fox named Tails, or Miles Tails Prower, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who originally actually voiced Tails in some of the games, which is a nice touch. Now, as I said, this movie, I think, does carry on brilliantly from the previous film, and it really just is a ton of fun to watch. I mean, as I said, I don't necessarily think this is one of the greatest movies ever, but at the same time, it's a good popcorn flick, and I know that there are some people who do actually want to think deeply when they watch films, but for those of us who just want some action, something not necessarily to turn our brains off to, but just to have fun with it, the Sonic movies, they're a great place for that. And while I admit that all of the actors and their characters do well, I think my favourite this time around has got to be Natasha Rothwell's Rachel, i.e. Maddie's sister. In the first film, I kind of felt like she was okay. Like she had some funny moments, especially when she's tied up. But I don't know. I just kind of felt she was just there. She was just okay. In this film, she's an effing riot. The basic setup of it is that everyone has travelled over for her wedding in Hawaii. She's getting married to her fiancé Randall Handel, played by Shamar Moore. And, she ends up acting like a bridezilla, but a good bridezilla. A bridezilla who actually does have a reason for it. You've read the stories online about bridezillas, about how most bridezillas get upset about something like, I wanted cream colour on my wedding dress, this is eggshell, or minor little details like that. You've read the stories, you know why. But this bridezilla, I can't actually understand why she's upset. I mean, one, while she's trying to make amends with Tom, mainly for Maddie's sake, having her future brother-in-law come up and try and meddle with her rings at the thing, he does have a reason for doing so, and it is a legitimate reason. But yeah, having him coming up trying to see the rings because he's trying to find the ring to get Sonic and Tails there, that's bad enough. Her wedding getting crashed by two creatures, i.e. Sonic and Tails, that's step two. And then she finds out her entire wedding was a setup. Like, it turns out her fiancé, Randall Handel, played by Shamel Moore, as well as everyone else who's attending there, they're agents of GUN, the kind of a military setup from the previous film, and they've may set up an Operation Catfish in order to capture Sonic and Tails, mainly because they believe as aliens that these creatures, alien creatures, might be a threat to them, so they want to capture them and do experiments on them and all that typical movie government stuff. To which we do get a returner in this film with Tom Butler, once again playing Commander Walters in the previous film as the head of GUN, and just having found out that her entire wedding was a setup to capture these creatures, she's rightfully pissed off. When seeing her kind of going after Randall, it's just fun. Just every time she's on the screen, I couldn't help but crack a smile. I mean, even when they're trying to work things out, and Maddie is saying that she's got to kind of sneak into the hotel in order to rescue Tom, Sonic, and Tails. Well, that's her main goal. Rachel's is to hunt down Randall and smack him, which, as I said, I love that. While I said in the previous film, she was just kind of there for me. In this one, she's a riot, and I love her for it. Now, I do also love some of the elements that they worked into these films, mainly from the games. The two main ones that I'd like to talk about here are you've once again got the return of Agent Stone, played once again by Lee Majube, and he's once again Robotnik's second in command. Things are going well for him. And one of the details that they snuck into the film is that he has set up a coffee shop where he's, of course, selling lattes. That's what he's good at. And his coffee shop is called Mean Bean, a reference to the game Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which I feel was a nice, clever tie-in. The film's got several of those. I couldn't possibly name all of them, but it does well. Anyway, the three I want to talk about. One, Mean Bean, which I already said about. There's also a clever snowboarding segment when Sonic and Tails are in Siberia. That's a good one. And I also did like how they introduced Tails' plane, the Tornado. The plane can be seen several times throughout the film, and it's mainly used at first for Rachel's wedding. Like, you see it going past with a sign tied to it that says something like Rachel and Randall forever, which is nice to see. They use it kind of twice before, and then eventually you see Tails flying it as the Tornado. You know what? That's great for me. I like how they introduce it slowly. Tails didn't immediately have it from the start, and he does provide well. The three main voice actors in this, Ben Schwartz, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Idris Elba, all of them do great here. Idris Elba especially provides a lot of weight to this character. I mean, you can definitely tell he's the hardened warrior who's struggling to see things Sonic's way, but then when he eventually does, he likes him for it. It's like, it gave you a tactical advantage I did not understand. It wasn't a tactic. I couldn't just let you die. Families don't do that to each other. I do not understand this, but it sounds noble. Old Earth proverb? No. Wachowski family secret. Which I do love. And I do think that this is a really fun film. And these films, they're underrated for comedy, but they really do well. The only actor who I was a little disappointed to see didn't return was Neil McDonough, who had played Benny in the previous film. To which I remember when the trailers dropped for the first Sonic film, I saw it and was like, well, Neil McDonough at the time had a long role as Damien Dark in the Arrowverse, which, as I have stated before, is now coming to an end. And I had felt at the time, just before the trailer for the first one dropped, that Damien Dark was maybe being overused. So I thought, maybe they should give him a little break for a while. And then I saw the first trailer for it, and I was like, you know what, he can stay in the Arrowverse. Look, we don't need him here, but he did provide nice. I was a little disappointed he didn't come back as GUN did, but anyway. The last thing I kind of want to mention is that, of course, I'm not entirely sure if it was true or not, but this was supposedly... I'm not entirely... This was supposed to be like Jim Carrey's last movie. I'm not entirely sure, like maybe he was retiring after this. But which... I have to say, if this was Jim Carrey's last movie, well, you could argue whether he picked a good one to go out on. He did pick a fun one to go out on, and for all intents and purposes, Jim Carrey is fun. Even in this film, he provides so much comedy and has such a laugh playing Robotnik. He really is great. I mean, I really hope this isn't the end, because I would like to see Jim Carrey as Robotnik in more films, but then again, Sonic does have a lot of very powerful enemies. Like, not just Robotnik is probably the most famous and the most iconic, but he's got a lot more that they could scour for the series. Villains like Scourge, Chaos, E123 Omega, Metal Sonic. You've got a lot of really good villains to choose from, but I really hope that this isn't the end, because Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik in these two films, he like Rachel in this film, is a riot, and he's just such fun to watch. So I really hope this isn't the end, but yeah, if this was his last film, he picked a fun one to go out on. So there you go, there's my quick thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's a film series that, as I said, probably isn't going to win any awards, but it's fun. And when we watch good movies, when we watch any movie, we don't just want to have fun. I mean, the Sonic movies are fun. That's all you need to get out of them. Anyway, as I said, that's my quick thoughts on the film. What did you think? Let me know down below. Anyway, until next time, see ya.